Welcome back in, everybody, to TV Sports 27. It is time for the second half. And the Grand Rapids Rampage are 2 quarters away from looking to complete the... Oh, it's a fumble! Recovered by Grand Rapids, a touchdown, and that on the very first play of the game, recovered in the end zone by Justin Skaggs, who had a touchdown last week. That might have just sealed a 16-0 season for the Grand Rapids Rampage. It'll be the first undefeated season in the history of the Arena Football League. Not AF2, not IFL, not NAL, which has all had undefeated teams, but the Arena Football League would be the first undefeated team. Alpha Sapphires in the house as well, chatting along. I use Unreal Engine for the game. I can use 3D models that I import myself. Very good. TB is ham. I'm a ham. Yes. Ham it up. Ham it up with TV Sports. That's you calling me the pig from... You calling me the pig from Toy Story, I think. Carmelo Hayes. I don't want to be Carmelo Hayes. That guy's a bad guy. He turned on Trick. He turned on his best friend. I'm gonna do SK Money like that. I'm gonna do SK Money. I'm gonna get him from behind, just like Carmelo did to Trick Williams. Craig Wheelahan, your quarterback for the Chicago Rush, way overthrowing his intended receiver, looking for Tony Locke. Chicago, who got the ball. Yes. You look at that, the chop block to SK Money. He created quite a fuss at the Super Bowl. The Broncos and the Saints, we had the Super Bowl game not too long ago on Twitch, and he was up in the 300 section throwing hot dogs, throwing jerseys. It was bad business. So, I mean, it's good we get the chop block back on SK Money. Put it down for the count. 4th and 3, rather, for the Chicago Rush. The undefeated season, they hand it off. What a disaster of a play call by Mike Hohensee. And I think we keep the starters in for one more play, and if we get a touchdown... He was at the floor for the Royal Rumble. I was up in the 300 section trying to get a refund for my souvenir cup. Shane Stafford... There it is. I think we got the 16-0 season. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the backups in right now. All right, we got the backups in the game now the rest of the way here. Another blowout. Yes, did you hear about Alpha Sapphire? Did you hear about the Crib episode? Maybe SK Money can tell you about it. Man, it was... He had waited all season long to see the Crib on 2K5, and I was accumulating all my tokens, but I didn't know, because it's 2K5. How old is this game now? 20 years, right? I didn't know that you had to also save your VIP profile, so at the end of each franchise mode game, I was just hitting save, and I wasn't saving my VIP profile. And so I didn't know that every game it wasn't saving my tokens. The tokens are tied into your VIP. So you have to save your franchise and save your VIP. There's no auto-save in 2K5. So I told him, like, he had been asking for the Crib on every episode. And I said, well, last game of the season, we'll look at the Crib. So we did the Super Bowl watch party. We went into the Crib. And I had, like, no tokens because I hadn't been saving my VIP profile. So I didn't have any trophies. I broke the single-season NFL record with T.O. That trophy was nowhere to be found. It was a disaster. He's still not happy about it. It's going to go up on YouTube in a couple months here. I named it like the infamous Crib disaster episode or something. So it was, yeah, it was terrible. So locker room gym area. Maybe you can do that for, you're mentioning you have the locker room in the gym. Maybe you can put like some of that around. Like, I guess that equipment maybe wouldn't be, but you got to have some kind of over-the-wall stuff for the guys to bang into, like in this game, right? That'd be pretty cool. So we got the backups in. Keep that in mind. There is a fumble, though. It is going to be picked up by Justin Skaggs, and that is his second fumble touchdown. What a game Skaggs is having, and the Rampage are cruising to a 16-0 record. I just found a Allegiant Stadium for $9. That's where we did our, quote unquote, our Stadium Stampede match that we did on WWE 2K between Retribution and Judgment Day. We did that at Allegiant Stadium. Now, obviously, it's an outdoor stadium in the game, but SK Money knows a lot about Allegiant Stadium, and so does WX Man. You know, the Wind won at Allegiant Stadium. The Wind won for the kickers, and they got perfect kicks in the game because of the wind. Meteorologists guessed it. The Wind wins at Allegiant Stadium. Get your coats in that one. Maybe we can do 2K. We're saying, what do we play after we do arena football? Do you guys want to see Utah, the RXFL? We can jump back into 2K, Road to the Royal Rumble, right? Craig Wheelahan, this thing turned into a disaster, but that is why the Chicago Rush are 5-10 on the year. Absolutely. Hilarious, says WX Man. The Wind wins. It's a meteorology success story. I know they're wearing their coats here in this one inside the Grand Rapids Arena. Craig Wheelahan, plenty of time, and that is the first time that we are going to see Cody Gold coming and making a catch. You see those numbers, they don't look too bad, but another blowout here, 63-21. Postseason should, and it's an interception. We have the backups in, by the way. Ahmad Hawkins with the INT. Not only have we been blowing out teams all season long, this might be one of the biggest blowouts all year. We're closing in on 70. And we got to keep moving the football. So Larry Richards is your backup quarterback here for the Grand Rapids Rampage. We have the backups in. We already played the backups. Look at this. Wide open is Hawkins, who makes the catch. So Hawkins just had the interception, and then Iron Man football is going to come right back in. I don't know. SK Money, we might just break 100 in this one. I mean, we don't want to run up the score, but you have to keep going in arena football. Ooh, that one nearly picked off by Chris Doring. So our guys getting some much-needed rest. I can do an NFL. Dude, put EA to shame. Put EA to shame with your NFL game. Let's do it. SoFi, that's pretty cool. Like, how graphically detailed are these? Off the boards, touchdown by Hawkins. 69-21, Rampage. 30 points away from a hundo. Schmidt kicks it through. It is good. What a way. Now, obviously, this is not going to be the most exciting arena football game in the world. People come to arena football, they expect a shootout back and forth. Maybe you'll get that in the playoffs. We got, coming up the first round, it's either going to be Colorado or Nashville, depending on what happens. If Nashville loses, it's going to be Colorado. Play the Super Bowl on stream. We already did the Super Bowl. You were there. You were in the third row. You had the hot dog. U.S. Bank, Allegiant, SoFi, Levi's. That's where the Super Bowl is going to be next year, Levi's Stadium. Or no, it's going to be New Orleans next year. And then the year after that is going to be Levi. And then the year after that will be L.A. You guys see the new Super Bowl logo? It's growing on me. At first, it was kind of like, whoa, those are some wild colors. But the more I see it, because they first dropped the logo on Twitter with kind of a weird purple background, so it didn't look right. I've now seen the logo with a white background, and it's not too bad. It's growing on me the more I see it. Super Bowl 60s, Levi. Yes, that's right. So 70-21, closing in on an undefeated season. The backups are in. We're in garbage time, but hang around. You don't want to drop out yet. You don't want to leave this one because we are closing in on the first undefeated season in Arena football history, and we are doing it right now in blowout fashion. If you like what you see here, go ahead and check out all those different ways you can support the channel. TV Sports tipped up, and Chris Angel with the INT. And Craig Wheelahan is having an absolutely awful day. Now you got Joe Hamilton you can put back in there. I think that was who we played the first time. But it is not going well for Craig Wheelahan, who was an XFL member in 2001. Chicago Enforcers, you guys know. I know my XFL. And just tossing it up. I mean, Hawkins was open. What can we do in that situation? We got to move the football. Holy smokes. When is the chip? I just bought some Cookie Crisp knockoff at Aldi's. I'm so annoyed because there's so many paid fields. They want to cash in, man. That's how everyone wants to make bank. You know, I got Patreon. I got Streamlabs. They're wanting to make bank. It's annoying, but I get it, you know. Everyone wants that check, right? You know, Conrad Thompson ad-free shows. 77-21. I knew we had a good shot against Chicago, but obviously this is the biggest blowout we've had. Oh, a low poly field is $20. Yeah, if it's high quality, you know, go ahead and ask for something, but if you're putting out low quality work, come on. I agree with that. So Craig Wheelahan stays in the game. Just dumps it off to Tony Locke.
1 yard gain on the play.
Smack talk right now. Showing the disrespect for a 16-0 season.
Ball on the 15-yard line.
Yeah. Like my mini PC. Maybe. I don't know. 77-21. Wheelahan is going to fumble the football. It is picked up, and it's a touchdown. We could break a 100. Josh White with the score. Craig Wheelahan has just fumbled like nobody's business. WX is out of here. WX, you're going to miss the undefeated. Sign up at Patreon if you want to get the results. Undefeated season. Yes, sir. 84. This is our first 80-point game this season, guys.
Grand Rapids is lined up for the kickoff.
A curved field? Yeah, why not? I mean, it's arena football, right? So you can curve it. So we got to get... We can't break 100. Let's score 3 more times, but we can get in the 90s with 1 more score. There's so much time. And I don't want to run up the score either, but... Oh, yeah, you got to have the roof unless you're doing... Remember when Spokane played that outdoor game because they were, like, doing running... Oh, my God. It's a disaster right now for the Rush. They just want this clock to end. They want the game to end. Who would have thought on week 16 going for the undefeated season we'd put 80 on the board? 84-21. So many turnover, fumble, touchdowns in this one. One of the most packed houses we've had here for a chat. Wheelahan is ripped down. Horse collar, whatever. It's Gillis Wilson. And we have the backups in, by the way. So they're just going to kick this one away. They're going to attempt the super long field goal here. It's going to be Josh Smith lining up. And he'll boot this one away. And This is where we got to kind of, you know, be realistic. Obviously, it'd be cool to get into the 90s, but if we're playing like this is real life, we don't want to run up the score. Bad blood. This is a divisional rival, so we'd have to come back to them. Let's do a screen pass, see what happens. Dumps it off to Swift. It's Donna Swift, or Dana. I guess Dana, maybe. Still got 3 minutes left. The 0-2? That's pretty wild. Across the pond, man. And sack. Kyle Brown with the sack on Larry Richards. Good to see Larry Richards, too. I mean, he needs to get some playing time here. You got to use it. Alpha Sapphire, the 0-2. Let's get the 0-2. Maybe we can get an Arena League in London. What do you think? We had the Arena League in China before. Well, he's the only man that opens, not trying to run up the score. So it's 4th down. I mean, we got to kick it, right? We can't run up the score. There's still a lot of time. But we got to play this for real. If this was real life, we'd get run out of here if we run up the score. So Schmidt. We'll see. Does he have the distance? No, just kicks this one. And Tony Locke takes it out. So Chicago take over. Can't run up the score, SK Money. It's not good sportsmanship. We got to see these guys next year. Division foes. You got to respect your division rivals here. Wow, SK Money not happy. He wants to see the 90. Wheelahan's pass incomplete. Looking for Rasheed Davis. Oh, we're getting the perfect season. Don't worry. There's still time. Who knows? Wheelahan. Incomplete. Wow, Chicago. I don't even know. Have Chicago scored in the second half here? It is crazy how much time there still is. Wheelahan with it. Gets it to Wise. He's had a nice game. 4th down. They are going to just kick it away, too. So they're not even going for it here. SK Money's furious. Alpha Sapphires in the 0-2. And Swift bringing it up past the 5. Coach is saying, all right, let's not run up the score on these guys. You know, we gotta be respectful. They're division foes. Act like we've been there before. Act like we want the undefeated season. Hand it off to Ford, who is going to stay on his feet up to the 20. Is there even a 300 section in the Grand Rapids? I don't even think the Grand Rapids stadium arena goes that deep. Grand Rapids is one of the smaller stadiums. You'll have to look that up. I don't remember what the name of the stadium was. But I don't think there's a 300 section. Could be wrong. We'll let this one wind down to the 1 minute one. Let's look. Grand Rapids Rampage. So here is, though, where we have to start getting first downs because the clock is going to stop if we don't get first downs. They played in the Van Adel Arena. The Van Adel, it can do 10,000 for arena football. So maybe it has a 300 section. I don't know. Wow, people are fighting. What's happening? People are fighting? They can't fight before a 16-0 season. Skaggs go up over the boards. That'll wind it down. Come on, Can't run it. Willis Marshall. Well, I mean, Stafford didn't even play that much, so I guess that makes sense. But you can't run up the score. You got to do it right. You got to do it by the book. We are going to throw it down because it is third down. So Larry Richards. And it's going to be incomplete. We go up over the boards. So people are tuning out left and right with the score not being run up here. We'll go for the field goal, though. Schmidt's kick. Oh, wow. That went way off the money.
All right. Great job. Nice going, guys. Nice job.
Soccer arenas can work. XFL, they're using a lot of soccer arenas for their games. Soccer, that's a good compact arena for football. Chicago Rush, this has not been a good performance by them, and offensively as well has completely fallen apart. I mean, we definitely could have broken 100. Oh, look at this! Touchdown, Tony Locke. Touchdown, Chicago Rush. So maybe they kick an onside kick, and then we kind of wouldn't have a choice. We'd have to keep playing because we'd have to get a first down to keep the clock moving. They're just going to kick it deep. Well, there you go. Unless we have a kick return, we're not breaking 90. 84 is still good. Come on, 84. That's solid. Oh, and Swift goes right into the boards. So we will have to pick up at least one first down here to keep the clock moving, to put this game on ice for a 16-0 season. Larry Richards pitches the ball to Skaggs. Is that a first down? And if it is, it is. The time will tick away. Everybody, 16-0. The Grand Rapids Rampage. A lot of blowouts. Remember, we went to overtime in week 1. Since then, this team has been on lockdown. And the biggest score of all, 84-28, to send the Grand Rapids Rampage to a 16-0 season. We're going to look at the final week 16 scores. We're going to look at the standings, and we're going to see who is going to the playoffs. We will do the first game tomorrow. Yeah, now you move down to the 200 section. Yes, sir. The 200 section going nuts. We're going to do the first playoff game tomorrow. If we win, then we're going to do the conference championship and the Arena Bowl this weekend. All right? Let's get it done. Alpha's shoes are off. What is happening right now in the dome? Oh my God, I'm not even going to cut this out for YouTube. We got to keep it going. Dan's got the Alpha and Dan. Holy smokes, this is getting out of hand right now for the undefeated season. Oh my God, hey, they're going wild for 84 points. WX Man couldn't even handle it. WX Man had to beat the traffic. He walked out of here before the game ended to beat the traffic. Unbelievable. Okay. I'm going to put this up because I don't want there to be a spoiler, because I think it goes right to the playoffs. And it does. So I don't want you guys to see. Well, we did break a record. I don't know how maybe accurate for this time. I'm not going to show it because it's the spoilers. But Shane Stafford, 113 passing touchdowns. Joe Jacobs, 17 sacks as well. Got a record. So we will take a look at the stats and standings. Should we do it here, I guess? I can do it here real quick. So here's your scores for Week 16. Orlando is going to be your number 1 seed in the National Conference with their win. The Crush, the 1-point win over the Rattlers. So there you go. The Blaze beating down the Voodoo. The Soul, 67 points over the Georgia Force. Force are in the playoffs, 84-28. Forget about it. Dallas, 64 points on the draw. This was a high-scoring week of football. Nashville did win, so it's going to come down to the tiebreaker of Nashville and Colorado. Only 24 points for the Tampa Bay Storm. My goodness, the Columbus Destroyers finish 8-8. They'll have an outside shot at the postseason. The Gladiators the win over the LA Avengers. So we will jump forward here. Actually, let's just look at the standings. And it's going to be Nashville that gets the tiebreaker. So here's your final standings in the American Conference. The Rampage, the 1 seed. The Gladiators will host the Utah Blaze. And for the third time, the Nashville Cats and the Grand Rapids Rampage will go to battle. Colorado just misses out. LA, Chicago, the rest of those guys at the bottom. On the Nashville side, Orlando, your number 1 seed. Dallas at 10-6. The Force and the Destroyers do make the postseason. Yes, TB, if I still had you added on Discord, I can send you some of these arena models or so. Well, we do have on our Patreon, we do have a Discord access, so that is up over there. We did kind of make it a private thing for our Patreon members, so if there's another Discord maybe you want me to jump into, but for the TV Sports one, unfortunately, we do kind of have it on that Patreon tier for some of those upper level members there, unfortunately for this instance here. But the Destroyers are going to get in. So we got the Destroyers and the Force who were in the Arena Bowl back in season number 2, of course. So, of course, Dallas has never been to an Arena Bowl. The Predators have been multiple times. So, and then on the other side, I mean, you got Nashville has only been once. The Blaze, the Gladiators have been once when they were in Cleveland. And the Rampage have been there once. So the Blaze have never been to an Arena Bowl. A shot for them. The Desperados have never been to an Arena Bowl. The Soul, the Voodoo, the Wranglers. You can see how everyone at least got 5 wins. So you can at least say for that, you know, for how teams may have finished. We didn't have anybody finish with 4 or fewer wins. So that was kind of a big deal in that regard. So those are the final standings. Just maybe one look at the schedule. You can see week 1 overtime, and then the rest of the way, this team just absolutely got it together. I mean, the Crush played us close, but even these are just all monster wins. The Blaze, yeah, that was a close one there. Chicago, we scored 73 on Chicago before, so, I mean, forget about it. The Dragons, that was a scary one that we had against the Dragons. This one as well, the Rattlers played us really close. The Wranglers just recently, but I mean, wow, the blowouts that we had this season. 16-0 that we finished. Just so people, if they believe me, I was playing on the easiest mode here. All Pro, by the way, which is the second highest. I always play on the middle difficulty or whatever the second highest is for everything. So we are on All Pro. So I wasn't rocking on rookie mode or anything like that. So final look at the standings real quick before we end this stream, because this is an AEW Wednesday. I gotta watch all of AEW tonight. Some stat book here. We'll look at for the entire league, which won't be too hard because there's not too many teams. But for the All Arena League, Shane Stafford far and away. I mean, look at this. Clint Dalzell was the next highest. Now, he was not the best passer as far as yards. That was Matt Nagy. But the most touchdowns, Shane Stafford, 113 touchdowns, SK Money. Can you believe it? Clint Dalzell, also pretty good for the Orlando Predators, 90 touchdowns for him. You had Derek Gaffney with 89 touchdown passes, Aaron Garcia. These are all playoff quarterbacks, by the way, that we may have to contend with. Aaron Garcia up there, Matt Nagy, his impressive yards, though. No postseason. John Kaleo as well. Good day, John Dutton. playing very well. We have WX is back. Welcome back, WX man. John Fitzgerald, Clint Storner, all very good numbers. Josh Ricks hurt for the Georgia Force. Mark Grebe, not too bad. Only 5 interceptions thrown there. So, holy smokes. Okay. On the rushing side, not going to see much for rushing in arena football, but it looks like that you had Daryl Berger, pretty much your leading rusher, 277 yards with 14 touchdowns. You have Jamar Toombs with 17 rushing touchdowns, which is pretty darn good. On the receiving side of things, your number 1 receiver, Willis Marshall, 1,700 receiving yards, 44 touchdowns. Marcus Nash of the Destroyers, 1,500 yards, 32 touchdowns. Lawrence Samuels, he's a Tampa Bay Storm legend. He's got 29 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. You can see some of the other big numbers there across the way. Defense, let's look at your sack leader. Joe Jacobs, 17 sacks of the Grand Rapids Rampage. Your interception king, Andy Taylor. Corey Fleming, 9 interceptions apiece. What about for touchdowns? How many touchdowns did we have? Defensive touchdowns. Victor Salam, 3 touchdowns. And the legend, Bob McMillan, who's injured. He got 2 touchdowns there. And then kicking, of course, this is always going to be skewed because in arena football, field goal kicks are punts. So you might say low field goal percentage, but keep in mind that that could be a 50-yard kick, which is basically a punt. But Kevin McDowell for the Tampa Bay Storm, 22 of 35. Derek Smith, 21 of 35. Where was our guy? There's Grammatica. I think Bill Grammatica is a big WX man, a big fan of Bill Grammatica there. There's Brian Schmidt, 10 of 21. But, again, most of those were punts. All right, we got to wrap this one up. We went almost 2 hours here on a work day, which is kind of rare for us. So the playoffs will begin tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, around 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. Nashville Cats and the Grand Rapids Rampage going at it for the playoffs. And then if we win, we will be headed off to the playoffs, which we will complete this weekend. So Alpha Sapphire, good luck with your game. I hope to see a lot of good progress. Keep it up. Hit me if hit me up. We are on Discord at the Nashville. We knocked them off twice. We're gonna give them again. We're ready for them. But there's all the ways you guys can support the channel: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Patreon, Streamlabs, Ko-fi, Alpha Sapphire, WX Man, SK Money. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being in the bounce house. And we're going to get it done tomorrow. Can we keep the undefeated season going, or will we fall apart like the New England Patriots? 16-0 as we head into the postseason. We got one game coming your way tomorrow. Nashville, Grand Rapids. We'll see you then.